I'm really happy to welcome Dave King from Asana to our DMEXCO TV studio here in Cologne on the first day of DMEXCO. Dave, happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. There's so much energy here. This is the place to be.
Yes, exactly. It's the place to be. So Dave, could you kindly tell our audience who you are and what you're doing at Asana?
Well, I'm Dave. I'm the CMO of Asana. And Asana is a software platform that helps teams orchestrate all their work, from daily tasks to big strategic initiatives. And I just heard that you're an Asana user, which is amazing. DMEXCO, the event, was organized on Asana. So many great German companies and marketers using Asana. So it's a real treat.
Nice. So you will be on stage this afternoon, and your speech is named Eliminating Bottlenecks and Burnout from the Creative Process.
Yes.
Could you already share some key takeaways with our audience?
Yes. I think as marketers, it's an incredibly exciting time. We are being asked not just to drive awareness and to drive leads, but to drive revenue for our companies. Mm-hmm. And with all the new technology, all the new channels, there's so much that we can do to connect with our audience. But we're in a digitally always-on age, and so we're expected to be always on. And one of the biggest problems facing marketers is burnout. There's just not enough in the time in the day to do everything we want to do. So historically, we've spent so much time focused on optimizing the channel, and the really smart brands, the most agile marketing and creative teams are spending a lot of time now focused on their process. How can we work better as a team so that we don't waste so much time, so we can spend more time on the craft of marketing rather than the busy work that comes with managing so much that's on our plate? So we're going to be talking about that this afternoon. OK, nice. So
do you believe the success of a company is often more in the processes itself than in the product they sell?
Well, we just did a big study of how people spend their time at work. We looked at people in Germany, the UK, the US, Japan, and Australia. And we asked people, hey, how much time do you spend out of your day coordinating work just to figure out who's doing what by when? And they estimated 30%. We then had them look at their calendar and go through and look at how they actually spend their time. And they underestimated by half. So 60% of our day is spent on busy work. This is email, this is meetings, this is messaging apps, just to figure out who's doing what. It leaves us very little time to do the actual work. So I think the most productive teams are not the ones that are working the longest hours. They're the ones that have minimized the busy work, and they have clarity on who's doing what by when, and they're the most agile, the fastest moving.
But those processes you just described, they are also habits. How does a company change those habits in their organization? Because like having Asana is one thing, but on the other hand, how do you make people incorporate the lifestyle that comes with it?
Yes, we are creatures of habit, and I think it all starts first with like clarity of the mission or the objective of the team. Then that has to get broken down into the projects or initiatives. And then each person needs to know who's responsible for what. Mm-hmm. And I think when people can see how their work ladders up to the purpose of the brand, the business objectives, they're a lot more engaged in the work. And they start to create those healthy habits that don't lead to burnout.
So it seems like Asana is also kind of a mindset, you could say, like empowering people to love their work and manage it independently.
We think it's so important to be mindful about the work that we do, and part of it is the technology, but part of it's also just creating those practices to allow you to do time to do your work. At Asana, we have a thing called No Meeting Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. So we just found that the workday was getting so busy with meetings that we didn't have time to actually do the work. So we dedicate a day a week where nobody can schedule meetings. We turn off some of the technology just so we can focus on doing really great marketing.
Nice. And at Asana, it's a lot about customer education. It's very big for you. But what do you want to teach your customers beyond using or utilizing Asana as a project management tool?
Yeah, we want to teach people that they need to pay attention to how their team works together and to stop working out of the inbox. The inbox is a list of other people's priorities, but if the team can be mindful about what they're trying to achieve, to lay out a plan for how to do it, they go on and lead happier, more engaged, more fulfilling work, and the work product is better. And so we've been launching on the marketing team a bunch of initiatives to just help teams. It's not even about the product, it's about better ways to work together. So we host almost 200 events on 4 continents where we just get teams together and have them share about how they work together. We launched an online educational academy that we give away for free for the same thing. So we really believe if teams can work better together, they're going to be happier, and it'll end up being good for our business too.
So what's the feedback for those events so far that you're receiving from the companies?
They love it. And I think they love it because it's not about us. It's about them. So we have, at our last event in Berlin, we'd have the manufacturer of incredible backpacks and bags there next to Wiesmann, who is a manufacturer of industrial heating and cooling products, next to Zalando, just sharing the way that, that their teams work. And everybody walks out with a tip or two, and usually a stuffed Yeti or a unicorn, which are some of the fun mascots that we bring into everything that we do.
So external benchmarking, and
you have to make it a little fun. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And before our interview, we were talking about that Asana is in more than 190 countries worldwide. How do you expand from the US worldwide?
Well, I think it starts with the problem that we're solving is a universal problem.
Yeah.
So everywhere we go, whether it's Japan or Australia or we're here in Germany, people feel like they don't have enough time in the day to do their work, and their work is falling through the cracks. And so the problem is universal. Now, we give the software away for free. And so we allow teams to get started with it. And I love this part about our model because our sales team and our customer success team, they go in and they help existing customers just do their workflows better. We don't sell anybody on anything. We just help them do their work more effectively. And when we do, they often end up upgrading to our paid products. Okay. But so we've grown really quickly in all these international markets. And Germany in particular has been a big focus of ours.
Okay, so but when you started, what were the main issues you were facing in order to have companies trust in Asana? This new company, you are like a digital native, so how did you convince companies of your service?
Yeah, I love the theme of the conference on trust because there is just nothing more important, and I think the brands that deliver on their brand promise are going to be the ones who succeed over the next decade. For us, it starts with we design the product for the people who actually use it, not for the people who buy it. Mm-hmm. And so we obsess over the net promoter score of everybody who uses the product. Okay. And we have ways where feedback just comes pouring in, but that's the currency, whether they're a paying customer or not. And I think in doing that, people have just started to trust the product, and they've trusted the brand because our incentives are aligned with theirs. We want to make them successful, and then and I think that drives word of mouth, which is our single largest source of new customers. Yeah.
So talking about trust. In Germany, it's always a lot about where's data stored, who is in touch with the data I provide. What kind of issues are you facing in terms of data security?
Yeah, well, it's a huge priority of ours because our customers are using the platform for their most important, work and process. This is the IP of an organization like Uber and Lyft and ride sharing, how they roll out their technology in new cities, or Sony Music, how they promote the music of their artists. So the trust is critical, and it's why we've been really focused on Germany and building a data center in Frankfurt and making sure that the security of the application is first and foremost, and that it's available with high uptime, high reliability, and the customers adopt it. Because at the end of the day, if they don't adopt it, and if they don't use it, then what value is there in the data anyways? So
you're building a data center in Frankfurt. Do you think it's important for companies that data is stored in their local habitat?
It varies by region. I think our approach has been we need to understand what is the best go-to-market approach for the region. And for Germany, we just feel like it's really important to have a local team that can just support all of these customers and to have local infrastructure. That's not true with every country in the world, but in Germany it's particularly true, and it's been a big focus of ours here.
Okay, so you have different strategies and also different focuses for different regions worldwide.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important that products not be, made in one country and then just shipped worldwide. It's really important that we adapt the go-to-market strategy to the regions, and I think that's we're still learning. We're getting better, but I think that's one of the reasons that the global footprint for Asana has grown so quickly.
Okay, so you work with many companies worldwide, different regions, very different demands. What has been your experience? Why do so many companies fail in terms of digitization?
Well, a lot of companies have a digital transformation initiative just to have a digital transformation initiative. And I think the ones that fail for one of two reasons. Either they didn't have a really clear objective on what they are trying to accomplish, really concrete goals, or they weren't successful in the change management.
Okay.
And we've been working with Wiesmann, based out of Allendorf, a 150-year-old family-run manufacturing company. And the grandson of the founder said, hey, we have to move into the digital era. We have to build internet-connected devices. We need to act more like a software company than a manufacturing company. He set the mission, set really clear objectives on what he wanted the team to do, organized more agile cross-functional teams, brought in Asana to help with that work, and now they're building these incredible connected devices and have really moved into the digital era. I think they're a prototype of how people should go about this change management.
Okay, great. So digitization needs a clear objective and also professional change management.
Oh, yes.
That's a very nice closing line. So Dave, thank you so much for sharing all those insights with us, and enjoy the DMEXCO. We are curious to see you on stage this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.